top Stoic expert reveals best self-reinvention techniques. What if you didn't need a new year, a new job, or a new city to become someone new, just a new perspective? What if transformation wasn't about chasing more, but letting go of everything you're not? And what if the strongest version of you is already here, hidden beneath the noise, waiting to be reclaimed one quiet habit at a time? We often think reinvention is loud, that it requires drastic changes, public declarations, and bold steps visible to the world. But the Stoics knew better. They understood that true transformation begins in silence, not spectacle. In the calm of daily discipline, not the chaos of dramatic resolutions. As we step into a new chapter, this isn't just a calendar shift. It's an opportunity to redefine who you are, not by becoming someone else, but by stripping away what no longer belongs to you. Reinvention, in the truest sense, is remembering, returning, rebuilding yourself from the inside out. And it doesn't happen all at once. It happens in the smallest of ways, through habits, through deliberate, consistent, quiet actions that align with your values and reshape your character from the roots. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, weren't interested in trendy life hacks. They didn't chase productivity for productivity's sake. What they practiced was the art of living intentionally, of cultivating strength, serenity, and purpose through choices that may appear small, but echo powerfully over time. This is not a blueprint for overnight success. This is a manual for inner evolution. Whether you're trying to find clarity, build discipline, navigate anxiety, or simply live with more presence and peace, these Stoic principles will guide you, not to escape who you are, but to step fully into who you're meant to be, because true change doesn't shout, it whispers. And if you're ready to listen, this is where it begins. Habit 1. Start small. Achieve big change doesn't need to be explosive to be powerful. You don't need to tear everything down to rebuild something better. In fact, the most profound transformations rarely begin with fireworks. They begin in silence, with a single, consistent step in the right direction. The Stoics knew that greatness isn't built in a moment. It's built through motion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible." That's the heart of Stoic progress, measured not by leaps, but by footsteps. We live in a world obsessed with overnight success. We idolize the grand gestures, the total makeovers, the massive leaps, the viral moments. But those are surface illusions. Real growth is quiet, unassuming. It happens when you choose discipline over drama, process over perfection. So how do we begin? By starting small, so small that failure has no place to hide. Want to get healthier? Don't commit to running 5 miles every morning. Start by walking 10 minutes. Want to write a book? Don't think about the hundreds of pages. Start with 1 paragraph. Want to gain clarity? Don't chase a life coach. Begin by sitting with your thoughts for 5 minutes in silence. These actions may seem insignificant, but they are seeds. And when planted consistently, they grow into something unshakable. Why does starting small work? Because it bypasses resistance. Because it builds momentum. Because it transforms intention into action without overwhelming your nervous nervous system with unrealistic demands. The Stoics weren't minimalists for aesthetic reasons. They were minimalists of energy and ego. They understood that the simplest path was often the strongest because it was the most sustainable. Starting small isn't thinking small, it's thinking smart. It's knowing that daily practice compounds in ways motivation never could. So today ask yourself, what is one small, repeatable action I can take that honors who I want to become? Then do it. Not perfectly, just consistently. And when that action becomes part of you, stack the next. This is the Stoic path, not rushed, not loud, but unshakable, because success isn't found in intensity, it's found in discipline. And discipline is built one quiet step at a time. Habit 2. Master your anxiety before it masters you. Anxiety doesn't always arrive with thunder. Sometimes it whispers, quietly, steadily, planting seeds of doubt in the corners of your mind until you're no longer responding to life, you're reacting to fear. It begins with a what if. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if everything falls apart? And soon your mind becomes a theater, where you're the writer, director, and terrified audience of scenarios that may never happen. But here's the Stoic truth. It's not the world that disturbs us, it's our thoughts about the world. Epictetus taught us, men are disturbed not by things but by the views which they take of them. This is your power, not to erase anxiety, but to reframe it, to master your perception so fear no longer runs the show. Anxiety grows when we fixate on what's out of our hands, the opinions of others, the outcome of tomorrow, the chaos of possibility. But what if you turned your gaze inward? What if, instead of trying to control the storm, you anchored yourself within it? This is the Stoic art of control. You can't rule the external world, but you can rule your breath, your thoughts, your response. So the next time your heart races, don't chase the thought. Pause, breathe, ask, what is in my control right now? Focus there. Ground yourself in the immediate, because presence is the enemy of panic. Try this exercise. When anxiety rises, write down your fear, give it shape. Then write one thing, just one, that you can do about it. Not to solve everything, just to act. Because anxiety feeds on helplessness, but action starves it. Another Stoic ally? Mindfulness Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. So when you spiral, return to your breath, your body, the moment." Anxiety cannot survive in full awareness. It depends on your absence. Also, remember this. Most of what we fear never happens. Seneca warned, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." How many times have you dreaded something for weeks, only to realize it wasn't that bad? That's anxiety's trick, magnifying shadows, masking truth. And sometimes anxiety is a teacher, a signal, a mirror. It reveals what you care about, what you must prepare for, what you're avoiding. Use it. Let it guide you to strengthen the very places it tries to weaken. Think of anxiety like a wave. If you resist it, it crashes over you. But if you ride it, feel it, face it, you emerge stronger. So the next time anxiety knocks, don't run. Stand still, look it in the eye, and whisper, "You don't own me. I choose my response." Because you're not here to be ruled by fear. You're here to live with clarity. And clarity, like courage, is built, not in the absence of anxiety, but in your refusal to let it lead. Habit 3. Design a routine that works for you. Chaos is inevitable. Distraction is everywhere. And life will always find a way to disrupt your best laid plans. That's why you don't wait for clarity. You create it. And you begin by shaping your days with intention. The Stoics knew that structure was not a prison. It was a path to inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." That being doesn't emerge by accident. It's forged in the choices you make, every morning, every hour, every breath. A routine isn't about rigid control. It's not about packing your calendar to the brim or checking off boxes to feel productive. A routine is rhythm. It's the music your life dances to. And when you choose the melody with purpose, everything aligns. Imagine your day like a ship at sea. Without a direction, you drift. You react. You get pulled off course by every gust of wind. But with a clear map and steady habits, you move forward, even in storms. So how do you build a routine that supports you instead of suffocating? You start by asking, what matters most? Not what looks impressive, not what others expect, but what truly nourishes your body, mind, and spirit. Maybe it's meditation, reading, moving your body, deep work, quiet reflection, whatever it is. Anchor your day around those priorities. The Stoics began their days with reflection, intention, and discipline. They knew that the way you start your morning shapes the tone of your life. So start with presence, with a breath, with a question. What kind of person do I want to be today? Design your schedule to match your energy. If your mind is sharp, in the morning, protect that time. Don't waste it scrolling. If you feel creative at night, build space to reflect, write, or think deeply. Use your rhythms, don't fight them. And don't forget flexibility. Life doesn't care about your perfect plan. So leave space, buffer, adapt. Missing a habit doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. The goal isn't perfection, it's alignment. A life lived with intention, not pressure. Here's a simple practice. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to plan tomorrow. Write down your top 3 priorities. Block time for them. Let that clarity greet you when the sun rises again. Because when the world gets loud, your routine becomes your refuge. It reminds you of who you are and what matters. So ask yourself, am I drifting through my days, or am I designing them with care? Because every day is a brick, and your habits are the mortar. What you build, what you become, is entirely up to you. Habit 4. Break bad habits. Reclaim your freedom. Not all chains make noise. Some of the most dangerous ones come quietly, disguised as routine. The mindless scroll, the third drink, the just, this once that's turned into every day. hide in plain sight, whispering comfort while quietly stealing your clarity, your energy, your future. And the longer they stay, the more they convince you that you can't change. But you can. The Stoics taught that true freedom begins with self-mastery. Seneca said, "No man is free who is not master of himself," which means that every bad habit you break is a key, a door unlocked, a step away from unconscious living, and a step closer to power. Breaking a habit isn't about shame. It's about awareness. Because you can't change what you don't see. So begin with honesty. Ask yourself, what do I keep doing that pulls me away from who I want to become? It might be subtle. The negative self-talk, the endless distractions, the food, the gossip, the excuses, whatever it is, name it. Because the moment you name it, it loses its camouflage. Now understand, willpower alone is weak when structure is missing. Don't just stop the habit, replace it. If you check your phone first thing in the morning, replace that reflex with a journal. If you binge junk food when stressed, create a new response. Step outside, sip water, breathe. Train your body to crave something better. Also, change your environment. Your surroundings shape your behavior more than your intentions. Remove the temptation. Set up friction between you and the habit. Make the bad choice harder. Want to stop binge watching at night? Move your TV out of the bedroom. Want to eat better? Don't bring the problem home. And when you stumble, and you will, don't spiral. Marcus Aurelius said, "When you arise, each morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." He didn't say be perfect. He said begin again. That's the secret. You don't need to change everything at once. You just need to begin. Again. And again. Here's a simple strategy. Identify the habit. Write the trigger, the behavior, the cost. Then write a better option. Practice it. And every time you choose the new over the old, you strengthen the pathway to freedom. Because habits are like grooves in your mind. You can wear down the old and carve new ones. So today say this to yourself. This behavior no longer defines me. I choose differently. Because you're not your patterns. You're the one who can change them. And every habit you break is a chain you no longer carry. Habit 5. Make time for what truly matters in a world that pulls at you from every direction. It's easy to confuse what is urgent with what is important. Easy to get caught in the whirlwind of messages, meetings, and meaningless motions, until you forget what you were even chasing in the first place. But the Stoics were clear. Your time is your life. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. That's the wound we must examine. Not that time is scarce, but that we're careless with it. We give our minutes to noise, our hours to distractions, and our days to routines we never questioned. And so we wake up exhausted, not because we did too much, but because we did too little of what truly matters." So ask yourself now, what actually matters to me? Not what sounds impressive, not what others want from you, but what fills you, grounds you, wakes something alive in your chest. It might be deep work, time with family, nature, writing, solitude, creating, serving others, healing. Whatever it is, make space for it. Don't wait for a break in the storm. Create one. Start by auditing your time. Spend a few days observing, noticing where your hours really go. You'll find the truth. You're not out of time. You're just spending it in ways that don't serve your soul. That's not guilt, that's power. Because you can change that story today. Try this. Every morning, choose just one thing that truly matters to you. Schedule time for it like it's sacred, because it is. Protect it. Show up to it. Honor it. Because it's not about how much time you have. It's about how aligned your time is with your values. When you're in alignment, a single hour can feel like a breakthrough. And when you're out of alignment, a whole week can feel like a blur. Also, be present. Don't just spend time on what matters. Be there when you do. Put down the phone, pause the notifications, look your loved ones in the eye, breathe with your full self, because attention is the amplifier of meaning. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to awaken you. So today, before the world pulls you in every direction, ask, what will I give myself to fully and honestly before this day ends? Because time is not a renewable resource, but what you do with your time echoes in the life you build. Habit 6. Take on challenges. That shape you. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens in discomfort, in resistance, in challenge. It happens in the space between fear and action, where the person you are meets the person you could become. The Stoics didn't avoid hardship, they welcomed it, not because they were masochists, but because they understood. Adversity is a mirror. It shows you what you're made of. Epictetus said, difficulties show a person who they are. In other words, challenges aren't detours from the path, they are the path. Think about the times you've grown the most. Were they easy, comfortable, predictable, or did they push you, stretch you, break you open? Exactly. Whether it was heartbreak, failure, public speaking, a new job, or the moment you finally stood up for yourself, each challenge forged a new piece of you. It burned away what was false and brought forward what was real. So don't run from challenges. Run toward them with courage, curiosity, and clarity. Start with something small, something meaningful. If conversation scares you, initiate one. If running terrifies you, start walking daily. If change unsettles you, choose a habit to break today. The goal isn't to prove anything to others. It's to meet yourself in the fire and find you can survive it. Here's a Stoic shift. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Perspective reframes pain into purpose. You stop seeing obstacles as barriers and start seeing them as teachers. Think of challenges like weights at the gym. No resistance, no strength, but resistance plus repetition, resilience. So the next time life throws something hard at you, don't collapse. Pause, breathe, reflect, then rise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That's not just philosophy, that's transformation. Not in theory, but in blood, sweat, and quiet triumph. Try this. Write down one challenge you've been avoiding. Break it down. What's one step you can take this week? Take it. even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble. Especially then, because the challenge before you isn't here to break you. It's here to build you, to stretch your edges, to prepare you for the next level of your life. And when you face it, you won't just survive. You'll rise stronger than you've ever been. Habit 7. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. Not everyone in your life is meant to walk the full journey with you. Some are there to teach you, some to test you, some to remind you of who you used to be, and some, just a rare few, are there to call you higher. The Stoics understood this well. Epictetus said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This isn't about judgment. It's about discernment. It's about choosing your circle with the same care you choose your thoughts, because both will shape the course of your life. The truth is, you are not just who you are who you surround yourself with. Your standards, your habits, your mindset. All of it is subtly, sometimes drastically molded by those closest to you. So ask yourself honestly, do the people around me feed my fire or smother it? Do they challenge me gently but truthfully? Do they celebrate my growth or only my comfort? Your energy is sacred. Stop giving it to people who drain it. Stop shrinking to fit into rooms where your presence feels too loud, your truth too deep, your growth too uncomfortable. You don't have to cut everyone off, but you do have to step back from those who repeatedly pull you away from the person you're becoming. Here's a simple rule. Keep company with those who make you forget to check your phone, with those who ask real questions, who listen, who mirror back your strength when you forget it. Build what the Stoics called a soul alliance, a small circle, maybe just one or two, but rooted in mutual growth, honesty, and presence. And if you don't have those people yet, become that. Soon, start showing up as the kind of friend, partner, or presence you wish you had. Growth attracts growth. Integrity attracts integrity. Stillness attracts those who are tired of noise. Because in the end, the people around you are either sharpening you or softening your edge. Make sure they're sharpening with love and not dulling with comfort. Ask yourself today, if I keep walking with the people I'm with now, where will I end up? And if that direction doesn't align with your values, shift the path. Not with bitterness, with clarity, because your environment is your ecosystem, and your inner peace depends on the company you keep. Habit 8. Embrace change as a catalyst for growth. Change is the only constant. Yet we fear it, resist it, cling to what is, long after it no longer serves us. But the Stoics saw change differently. They saw it not as a threat, but as a teacher. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change." In other words, growth is not possible without change, and suffering often comes not from the change itself, but from your unwillingness to flow with it. Think of the moments that changed you. Were they expected, comfortable, or did they crack you open, unexpected, unwelcome, but undeniably transformative? Exactly. Change shatters illusions. It disrupts the routines you outgrew. It calls you to surrender control, not to chaos, but to transformation. So when life shifts, don't cling. Lean in. When relationships end, jobs fall apart, health fades, plans unravel, pause. And instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What is life clearing out so something new can come in?" Like fire to a forest, change may burn, but it also makes room for regrowth. Like waves to the shore, change may erode comfort, but it also reveals new land. Like winter to a tree, change may strip you, but beneath that stillness is rebirth. Here's a simple practice. Each time change shakes your life, write 3 things it's making space for, even if you don't believe them yet, even if they haven't arrived, because change first disrupts your outer world, so your inner one can finally evolve. Don't get stuck in identity. Don't define yourself by old roles, routines, or relationships. You are not static. You are not a title. You are a becoming. And becoming requires surrender. So today ask yourself, what have I been resisting that's actually inviting me to grow? And what might happen if I stopped gripping and started listening? Because change doesn't come to break you. It comes to reveal you, not who you thought you were, but who you were always meant to be. Habit 9. Accept yourself without apology. You are not broken. You are becoming. You don't need to explain your scars. You don't need to justify your pace. You don't owe anyone an apology for being in the middle of your journey. The Stoics never chased perfection, they chased truth. And the truth is, you are a mosaic of strength and struggle. You are not here to fit someone else's mold. You are here to remember your shape and live fully within it. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's not about self-deprecation. That's about self-ownership, owning your humanity, your flaws, your contradictions, your unfinished edges. Not as excuses, but as honest reflections of growth. In a world that teaches you to hide your imperfections, radical self-acceptance is rebellion. So today, look at yourself without flinching. Name what's real, the parts you're proud of, the parts you're still working on, the parts you've kept hidden. Then breathe and say, "This is me, and I'm still worthy," because you are. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop rejecting yourself every time you fall short. It means you create space for evolution instead of shame. Here's the paradox. The more you accept yourself, the more you grow, because self-judgment paralyzes. But self-respect liberates. Try this. Write down 5 things you've been criticizing yourself for. Then, next to each one, write how that trait, flawed as it seems, has also shaped something good. Find the gold in your dirt, the strength in your softness, the gift in your imperfection. You are not a project. You are a person. And you deserve to walk through life not constantly fixing, but gently unfolding. So stand in who you are, with gentleness, with truth, with a spine that doesn't shrink every time someone misunderstands you, because the most powerful version of you is the one that no longer seeks approval, only alignment. Habit 10. Live like you already are the person you admire, You don't become by wishing, you become by acting. And one of the greatest Stoic practices is to embody your ideals now, not later. Seneca wrote, "Choose someone whose way of life you admire and keep them always before you." But this isn't about idolizing others. It's about letting their example remind you you're capable of the same. So instead of saying, "I wish I were more like them," ask, "What would they do right now, and what's stopping me from doing it?" The answer is rarely ability. It's usually belief. You already have the strength, you already have the wisdom, you already have the compass. What you need is permission. And here's the truth, you don't need to earn that. You just need to claim it. Try this. Write a letter from your future self. Describe who you've become, how you carry yourself, what you no longer tolerate, how you speak, think, move, rest. Then start living like it's already true. Because confidence isn't a feeling, it's a decision. And identity isn't something you find, it's something you practice. Every time you make a choice aligned with who you want to become, you reinforce that identity. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, silence over noise, courage over comfort, you're not pretending, you're becoming. So today, act like it. Even if it feels unfamiliar, even if your voice shakes, even if no one claps. Because at some point, you have to stop admiring the fire and become it. Conclusion. Reinventing yourself doesn't have to be loud, just honest. You don't need to vanish to become someone new. You don't need to escape your life, burn everything down, or start from zero. Sometimes all you need is to return to who you were before the noise, to who you've always been beneath the masks. Reinvention doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens in quiet decisions repeated consistently, in the way you speak to yourself, in the way you choose discomfort over distraction, in how you let go, not to give up, but to grow. You've just walked through 10 powerful habits, 10 small doors that open into a bigger life. And now the path ahead is yours. You don't need to do all 10 perfectly. You don't need to rush. You just need to begin. With presence, with honesty, with the kind of courage that doesn't need applause, only direction. So ask yourself, which of these will I quietly begin today? Which one speaks to where I am and where I want to go? You won't become someone new overnight, but you will become someone real. And that is more than enough. And if this journey has resonated with you, if the silence between these words has stirred something inside, if you're ready to keep walking this Stoic path with clarity, strength, and calm, then consider subscribing to Stoic Zen. We're not here to shout, we're here to reflect, to offer calm in a world that rushes, to help you return to yourself. One breath, one thought, one habit at a time. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay grounded, stay wise, and above all, stay true to what you're quietly becoming.